All right, good morning. Well, the playbook is at its point where, well, it's gone beyond at this point where the target low or targets were, but that's fine. It's overshot some of the lows here. At a minimum, we're looking for it to take out this low. Clearly, it's done that. And whether it comes down into this little area here, it's always an area. That being said, as it comes down somewhere in here, there's going to be a buying opportunity. And it certainly isn't going to go straight up. It'll take time. And if you didn't watch the video last night, posted on YouTube and Telegram, take a look at that. But in short, it'll take time to produce some type of a pattern, something that could be like this or like that. So as of right now, let's see if we get another plunge at the open for good measure. As you can see, things are stabilizing here, creating those couple of pivots, and buyers are stepping up right here. So we'll see if it begins to bounce a bit or heads down to somewhere down in this lower level. I suspect that, even if it bounces here at the open, and I think there'd be some short covering on a move down like this that could get it to bounce. We'll see. Even if it bounces a bit, sellers will take advantage again. And this pretty nasty move. And so, and what I was thinking here, I don't know if McGraw's here, what he's thinking here, but the premiums are like, wow, as you would expect on these puts. And going out to tomorrow, you can go down 36.25 on SPX is $1 by $1.25. Right. Let's hold on a second. Let's see where that is. Let's clear up the drawings. It ain't going down there by tomorrow. It's not happening. Okay. If it comes down here, that's, SPX. Well, we know where. Let's go look at spiders for a second. Down at 410. Okay. So down here near these pivots and 400. 400 is a big whole number, of course. Let's go back to SPX. And we really don't do this, other than 0 DTE day, really. But, this opportunity at the open is going to be one that'll probably start to evaporate. It's just the way it does, is that volatility. I think Dan calls it volatility crush, but look, it's a nasty move down. It's not like we think it's over, but, tomorrow, is it going to go down here by tomorrow? No, I say that in the way that it's impossible. And I think it is impossible to come down here by tomorrow. And that being said, I was looking for premiums in SPY, Dan, anywhere down here. I'm thinking in our advisory letter, selling them naked. And, anywhere down in this area, 3,800 or 380s or so, take assignment. And it doesn't mean they're going to pop back up. Maybe just going to collect the premium and see what happens. That is so far away. Did you think you would be saying that? I thought it was definitely a real possibility, David. Yeah, because, I've said, the big open interest at 42 and 4,100. And of course, 4,000 is a big whole number there. And so, what's going on? Here's the news that's been anticipated, so it's happening. What happens from here, we shall see. But, I think owning, an index, and I've been through situations like this before, and it doesn't mean it won't go lower. I mean, 9/11, I was long the market, the Qs, the computers shut off. And I mean, that was far worse than this, I think. A week later, they opened up. So look, the markets are always going to come back. I wouldn't say to be doing this with an individual stock, but there are stocks that have been decimated. So these are things that we'll have to be considering, I guess over the weekend and into next week. We'll see what happens today. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be an opportunity. And so, whether it's short-term intraday, looking for a bounce, or, with credit spreads, is that when they drop like this, institutions and traders go to the options for protection and hedging. And, so they were doing that, and now it's looking a bit worse. And, those options are now going to be deep in the money, and people are going to buy to, take their money, and the ones lower are getting extremely inflated because of the fear. So again, if the quotes are a little off, who knows what they're, what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that 36.30 is bid 90 cents and 36.25 is $1. Maybe it's a little delayed or something. I don't know. But anyway, the premiums are gigantic here. Again, all the way down, way down here. And so to come down there, I mean, just think about it, to come down there, and you're talking 23%. Maybe it does get eventually down there, but it's got to go through these levels. So anyway, all right, see where others are at. And here's the NASDAQ, coming down, already down 20, almost 22%, coming down into this support area. It's at 13,000. There's a whole number. You can see on the weekly charts, it's a bit clearer. Maybe, somewhere in here, just so eyeballing this as kind of a measured move would put it somewhere down here closer to this level. So maybe, it'll continue to drop here at the open. As you can see, what's been going on here for the last several hours, just kind of waiting there. Obviously those buying and thinking it'll pop up, at least at the open, and then see if it rolls back over, or if it can't get going at all, I suspect, it'll drop down, and we'll see where it goes from there. And yesterday I mentioned the internals weren't there yet, and here they are. Now, this will get down there today, to an extreme. But whatever that number is, we're not going to know until 4 o'clock. Intraday, this does move. I mentioned in the green room last week, set alerts. What we want to see is terror, right? Not only, in prices, we want to see these option traders betting crash. So set alerts at 1.3, 1.5, right? For intraday alerts, similar to the NYSE tick going down to minus 1,000, minus 1,500. I suspect probably at the open, it'll be minus 1,500, maybe minus 2,000. And, same thing, set an alert, a historical extreme, which I haven't seen in years, down here near 1.5. Yeah, so as far as VIX goes, you can see where it's at, and it's close to, this level up here. So somewhere in here around 40, set an alert there, set an alert, up here. And alerts, it's already on. There you go. So around 44, so maybe we get that put call at an extreme. The VIX is up at one of these other levels, and that'll guide to a short-term low. All right, the Dow, I'm not so sure that little pivot low is going to hold there. But anyway, that's the area where it's at. The more significant price areas down here. Same kind of pattern here intraday. And so we'll see if this amount of holding that's happening here for the moment just gives way for another plunge. And S&P's, Dow, Q's, Russell. All right, we've been saying this has just got little to nothing to stop it from going down. See, the longer term chart is a lot cleaner. It's holding this low for the moment. It's got a lot. It has the potential to drop quite a bit with that breakout failure, and so very very bearish pattern. So it's a year-long base like that breaking out and failing as it did, nothing below. So this is it's either going down here or it's going to have to create support. So now that it's made this pivot low, can it hold it and begin to turn? We'll see. Bitcoin. A few weeks ago, we're looking at this pattern saying, 30,000. Not quite there. It's kind of showing a little relative strength here for the moment. We'll see if it actually does eventually break and coming down there. Oil popping up there to 100. Right. I thought maybe it was going to, come back in, but now, the tanks are rolling, and, little spike like that up to that level. And, we'll see. All this could be where we see the blood in the streets, so to speak. Hopefully not literally over there, and things calm down in some way. We'll see. But, these are the kind of moves that tell us where we've been calling for it for weeks, and now here it is. And so big wide range bars like that, where you've got these just vertical moves, typically are near the end of a trend. We'll know sometime next week. Silver, spiking up to the highs. Gold, spiking up there as well. And, transports, we don't know what it's doing here, but obviously it's probably going to be down at this level. We'll see if it holds or not. And interest rates are coming down here a little bit. Right? So money going into bonds, yields come down, which in turn, right, that's coming in a little bit. And so our yield curves here are still hanging it, but kind of dragging down here a little bit. And something we'll be keeping an eye on in the coming weeks and into the next month or so as to whether, if this keeps inching lower, it's still got a long way to go before it gets anywhere near a real trouble mark. But, in MT Live and in the letter said, this is one of the reasons why we would view what we believed was coming, and here it is that it will become a buying opportunity, because this long-term yield curve is still quite bullish. It's not as bullish as it was in the past. When I scroll this back, you will see, but we don't want it to be as much as it was in the past, because I'll have to scroll it back some more. Right? It only gets up there after a real disaster. So, all right. All right. So we'll see where everything is here. We'll see if it has another plunge for good measure at the open. And as far as an intermediate term low, that's going to take time. It's going to take time, whether it requires some kind of bottoming pattern like this. It'll be erratic, but from a long-term perspective, looking at, if you're interested in whether spiders, Qs, and looking at options as to selling way out of the money, that you're willing to take assignment on a day like this, you may not get the low price, but you don't have to go all in, but I think it's going to be an opportunity. All yours, Dan.
I guess you're done. Or do you stop? All right, good morning. Do you remember yesterday in the green room, I said I would love, sell off another close and gap down 10 bucks. And finally, we're getting our wish. And like Greg said, I mean, my target was 400, based on the weekly. We're looking at this in the green room. Tradable bounce. Do I think 400 is the final pullback? I have no idea. There's still room to fall in the monthly. All right, so I've been taking stops. We're actually very heavily short in the advisory letter and the ETF letter. We're 100% short, 7 positions. So we're on the right side of this move. We have 2 bullish long positions in oil, so we're taking advantage of that too. SLB and RES. That gap doesn't look real to me. But that's a core long. So it looks like the only thing in the most pain is this LOW. We sold a put spread, so that's gapping under the short strike. So we'll keep an eye on that one. As a general rule on big gap downs, we move stop 30-minute low, so we don't panic. And that could be a double-edged sword. Your loss could get worse. But in our experience, big gaps after multiple days down, the majority of the time, they help us. So that's our go-to, is a 30-minute low. And then as we get information, we can look at things one by one. All right, I posted that there's a lot of things that are what we call gap and snap candidates. And what that means is multiple bars down, like this pizza, multiple, look how far it is already from the 20. And now it's gapping down another $15. If this can take out a 30-minute high, look at the volume yesterday, then it's going to be amazing opportunities for selling these put spreads. Not only are these premiums going to be high because of the volatility is popping, but because it has earnings. So it's a double whammy of jacking up the premiums. All right, so here's Russia, RSX. Look at that, getting whacked. 14.5. Wow, look at that, gapping all the way down to it's pretty close to Corona low. Wow, I mean, that's going to take some stabilization, but yeah, Russia, hey, I don't know, you all can make your own decisions what's going on over there, but Europe's going to have some problems here. Oh, yeah, Wolfram. No, we said we're going to take ownership. We're short the 40s, overstocks at 42. No, so the way I planned on managing that, no, I'm going to do nothing with it. So we were also spent time talking about continuation patterns, and yesterday it being like more difficult to get on new shorts unless we had some type of continuation, but this was a nasty closing breakdown. Gapping down again. Teradyne, Greg mentioned yesterday, this one's close to resistance with a continuation topping tail, but a gap down today is going to make things even worse. I'm trying to get on board things. All right, so NTAP capping down 78, and these are Wall Street love stocks are just getting taken to the woodshed. You know, look at Wayfair here. Do y'all remember in Corona? Look at this thing. Went from $40 to $3.50. People sitting at home buying couches and things for their house. It was 95 pre-market. 5 in. Look at that. So see, there's another gap and snap candidate. It's down multiple bars far from the 20 and gapping down a lot. So that's going in a window. Band, here's another one, band. Multiple fluid bars down and it's gapping down 15%. That's going in a window. They're all over the place. I posted that in for advisory letters. I mean the weekly, but yeah, we'll be selling some naked options too. All right, now see this one was more of an igniting new trade. So this is a call spread candidate. It's gapping down $3, but you had a little M top. So if we can get anything for the 120s, I like that for a call spread. SUM, you know, it had a closing breakdown, but I don't really need a bounce. It shows it gapping down $2, but I don't see any prints. FL was on our list yesterday in the green room as a new trade. See, 2 green bars ignored, topping tails. Breakdown on the weekly. Nuva, big mess. Pod. Now, so Pod is also a new trade setup, another kind of M top, breakout failure, continuation pattern. So 30-minute, if we're sell setup engulfing weekly. So keep a list of possible go-tos for new setups. So I'll write this one down. So if we want to pull out that playbook, whether it's for day trade or swing, we got a couple ready to look at. EVH, this could possibly be a new setup. Look at this, lemonade. I don't even know what lemonade does, but I do know, look at this, $180. And look at that nasty gap down, gapping down $5. That's going in a window for a 30-minute high put spread. I mean, there's a lot of damage here done today. This thing's gapping up to resistance, but 30-minute high is a put spread idea. Yeah, for obvious reasons. You know, Jets is getting whacked. You know, the travel tourism things. Look at Booking here, had earnings, but gapping down. I mean, that's a nasty gap, nasty breakout failure. Look at Norwegian Cruise Line. Gap, look at that. That's nasty gap. You know, this was in a trading range. Look at that. Well, you got to go to your monthly chart. Look, that's getting whacked all the way back down to the Corona stabilization. Six Flags held up, you know, relatively well. Gapping down to $41 here, 30-minute high. Thanks, Rocco. So 30-minute high, that's another candidate for put spread. This number, it's a big gap far from the 20, but I don't like that it's gapping under that green bar. I like more of the fluid bars down, like I've been talking about. 5 in, band, lemonade. 42 and change. You know, we'll come back to you. Look at this. I mean, these gaps are just mind-boggling to me today. Look, this thing fell from $42. Wide range bar. Now you're gapping down over $10. This is crazy. That's going in a window. VAC is Marriott Vacations, you know, just 98% chance that's going to go down. 36, another big gap. Look at that gapping under these lows. That's Herbalife. Now see, this is more of a continuation pattern. So that one I'm not really interested in selling puts on. That was a nice new short setup after this bearish engulfing. Shut in, opening flat. Argo, I have an alarm. If it takes out the high, let me make sure I have an alarm. I'm going to set an alarm at 38.90. But yeah, Argo's on the list. But Bitcoin, actually Bitcoin, well, see, that's not right. When you look at Bitcoin, you know, I get thrown off because I'm showing it, oh, it's up $340. But since it trades all night, it kind of depends how it's being calculated. So, you know, that's a minor. So that's why I wanted to look at that. Remember this water yesterday? I was trying to get on board. It's holding. That's still on my long list. Maybe it gives us a 1, 2, 3. TFX, I don't see a gap. C's another leisure thing. That could be a call spread candidate. Maybe even a condor. Maybe a condor, you know, up here and down here. One of you were asking yesterday, what's type of setup do we like on condors? There you have it right there. You got decisive. All right, obviously a bunch of my low alarms are going off, but those are good because they're shorts. But you know, you got to put your put strike under support, call strike over resistance. Look at pizza, bottom right. Look at that, almost already filled the gap. Well, no, that's not true. All right, that's not true. That's a bad pre-market print. All right, so another way of entering these instead of 30-minute high. Yeah, of course, John, but I'm not even worried about it now. It's not, that's not my concern now because you'd be rolling with massive premium against you. But I'm in that dog too. I mean, if you're another way, John, just FYI, if it's, you know, looking horrible, which it is, you can actually sell a call against it, or you can short some stock against it if you want. But I'm doing nothing